Bonjour tout le monde. In today's video we are going to be looking at the concept of conjugation. Conjugation is the process of changing an infinitive verb to give it a person and a tense. If you are still confused about infinitives, go back and watch the first video of Unit 2 to remind yourself what an infinitive is. So conjugation is the process of changing an infinitive and giving it a person and a tense. The person is represented by a noun or a pronoun, such as I, you, he, or she. To conjugate a verb in French, you have to take off the infinitive endings er, ir, or re, and match a new ending to the person, the pronoun, and the tense that you are wanting to use. We will look at this in more detail in further videos. For now, let's remind ourselves of the difference between a conjugated and an infinitive verb so we can recognise the two different forms. Je joue. This verb has a pronoun. It has a person in front of it. This means that this verb is conjugated. Il regarde. We know from previous work that il means he. We know that this is a pronoun. Il regarde therefore must be conjugated because it has been given a person, given a pronoun. Nous aimons. We like. We have a pronoun. We don't have that er, ir, or re verb ending. This verb is conjugated as well. And here we have jouer. No pronoun, no person, no noun in front of it. It ends in er, so we can confidently say that this verb is still in its infinitive form. There are lots of other examples here for you to look at, so pause the video now and go through these. I'm going to pop in the answers so you can come back and check in a moment. Brilliant. So at this point we should be able to recognise, when we see them written down, which of our verbs are infinitives and which of our verbs have been conjugated. We're going to look at these in some sentences. And you will remember from video 1 that often when we're using two verbs in a sentence together, a double verb structure, the first verb will be conjugated and the verb straight after it will always be an infinitive. We saw this pattern before, and here we see it again in sentences 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's quickly just double check that we can spot our conjugated verb followed by our infinitive. Here again in sentence 2, our conjugated verb followed by our infinitive. We have it in sentence 3, and we have it here in sentence we don't have it here in sentence 4. We will come back to that in a moment. Let's look at these three sentences here. J'adore jouer au foot. What do we think it means? I love to play football. I love is conjugated. To play is an infinitive. And football is our noun. Have a go at the next two and then check your work. Now here I nearly made a mistake, didn't I? Here I nearly circled my noun rugby, thinking that it was following the same pattern as sentences 1, 2 and 3. I nearly fell for my own trick. Let's see what's happening in sentence 4. Here we have il aime le rugby. Le rugby, let's put a square around that, is our sport, it's our noun. Il aime is our verb. We don't have a second verb. We don't have an infinitive here. We just have the conjugated verb, he likes rugby. And this is just to remind you But you won't always see double verb structures. A lot of the time you'll just see a conjugated verb followed by a noun, and that's fine as well. In our last 4 examples, we've got our sentences in English. I wonder if you, using your core knowledge from your topics that you've studied so far, can translate these sentences into French. You will need to pay attention to your conjugated verb, and you will need to pay attention to your infinitive verbs. I'm going to write the answers in. You can pause the video now and come back and check, or you can check after each example that you've tried to fill in any gaps. Good luck. And there you have it, conjugation. At this point, you should be able to recognise in a French or an English sentence which verbs are infinitives and which verbs have been conjugated. You should also be able to tell your partner or your teacher why a verb is an infinitive or why it has been conjugated. If you are still stuck, please have a go at your homework sheet, take a look at the activities in your booklet, and maybe try using the Quizlet set or the Google form that we have set up for you. And as always, if you have any questions, go back and watch the previous videos or ask your teacher. Good luck. Au revoir.